What do you think makes a good friend? What do you think makes a good friend? Go. I see. Go ahead, Andrew.
Have each other's backs.
Yes.
Okay. Let me tell you something. Okay. When somebody falls, you help that person up, right? So I'm gonna use my best friend as an example. When I'm having a bad day, she is there to pick me up. Okay. Like we have, inside jokes and everything. Or when she having a bad day, I can lift her up with my jokes, my humor. That trust got to be there.
Right.
Yeah, because if this is for me as well. If there's no trust, if I can't, because if again, if you're my best friend, we're supposed to, have each other backs, this and that, and I could tell you all of my problems, this and that. And I trust you with whatever's going on in my life and also with your life as well. I'm not going around spreading gospel about, oh, did you hear? I'm not doing that. That's not the type of person that I am and who I want into my life as well. Because if I see one of my friends doing that, how in the world can I ever come to you again with something so valuable, something important in my life, and you just ruin just that one thing, that trust, that bond? You just ruin it. That's
and it's gonna be very hard to gain that trust back once you break that trust.
Yes.
So, like I said, I tell my best friend everything, and she tell me everything because we have that trust. We have that we have that bond together. Gone on trips, talk to her almost every day about our problems. Stuff of that nature. Stuff that we do to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm married, so like that's a big trust. You know what I'm saying? Like I can talk to my wife about anything. I mean, at first, I felt like I couldn't. Because as a man, we sometimes feel as though like we can't talk to our wives about everything, but that's not true. Then I've talked to Andrew about some things. I've talked to you about some things. So I mean, at the end of the day, like we all have that bond, we all have that trust, right? But marriage is different. Marriage is different from your best friend, Andrew. Marriage is different from, because that bond is to death do you part. See, you can't say that about friendships because it's not till death. It's probably like for a season, or it may be for a week, or it may be for some months, right? But you do have some friendships that are long lasting, right? But it's not the same as a marriage. That's why I tell people be very careful how you try to compare friendships, because you can't compare friendship to a marriage. Just as you can't compare friendship to if somebody's dating somebody and then somebody's single. You can't compare those two friendships together because those are different type of bonds and different types of friendships. But at the end of the day, whatever bond you have, you must make sure you cherish it, and you must make sure that whatever it is, that you do not burn those bridges, because at the end of the day, when you burn those bridges, they're very hard to come back to. But if you deal with a friend, I'm gonna tell you what a real friend is also. A real friend is one that is forgiving. A real friend is one that will forgive you and will give you another opportunity to say, all right, look, you may have messed up the first time, but you know what? Because I see that God has changed you into a different person, I can truly see that, I'm gonna give you another chance. Hey, I give you an example now. It's not that I forgot to do something for somebody who gave me something. I just been in a bad spot right now. It doesn't mean that person will never get what they gave me, because I owe that to them. And I'm very thankful that they helped me out when I needed that I needed that for my family. But when family members passed away and then I went into my little bubble, like it wasn't that I was ignoring them, right? But at the end of the day, I can say that when a time comes and they look at their phone and see the message that they need to see, that what they helped me with will be there for them. Because at the end of the day, it's not that I forgot. It's just the fact that I was going through some things, right? But I am still acknowledging the fact that you helped me, and I know I have to pay my due, right? And so that's what a real friend does. Even though I may not tell you, it doesn't mean I don't think about it, right? But I would rather you know, because I would rather you understand that, hey, I didn't forget about you. I just been going through some things, but no, you will still be blessed because they didn't have to help me, but they did. And that's what a real friend is, man. They're going to admit, to when they're wrong, and they're going to admit when they're right, but they're not scared to say, hey, I messed up, or not scared to say, hey, I ain't forget about you, right? That's what a real friend does. A real friend is somebody who ducks somebody. And we've all had people like that where they duck us. We call them and they change their phone number. We ain't heard from them. And then just all out of the blue, they call, hey, Damian, how you doing, man? No, it's not a real friend. Because if you were a real friend, why were you ducking me? Why couldn't you just come talk to me and say, hey, this is what's going on with me, right? So, yeah, man, like I said, those bonds are different. Those bonds are different.
I hear you, coach. But but with me, there are some things that I can't forget. And I know me and Andrew, we had an episode onto this of where I talk about there are some things as a friend that I just cannot forget. Like with my longtime old friend, we've been friends since first grade. And to this day, we are still friends. And I remember this incident right here. I'm not going to give you guys the whole story, but I remember this was my junior year. And I don't know how the conversation got started, but we had always, I'm looking back onto it now, we always had these little video arguments that didn't mean nothing. And we used to have them every day. And I remember in math classroom, he just looked at me and he looked me straight in the eyes. And he said some hurtful things, you guys. He said some hurtful things to me. And right after he said it, he just full on laugh about it. And in that moment, you guys, I don't know. I just I couldn't believe what he just had told me. And from that day on, I told him that I can never forgive you. And our friendship had never been the same since then. But I don't know, you guys. Some things you just can't forget. You just can't forget. So that's why.
Nobody's split. Look, man. I ain't Dr. Phil. Look, what you went through, bro, that's what you went through. My job as your friend is to hear, right? But at the end of the day, at some point, now just hear me out. Now, at some point, you're gonna have to forgive, right?
Oh no,
but I'm just saying, I'm just saying, and like this is not a debate. This is not me arguing with you, bro. Right. I'm just giving you some wisdom and some advice, bro. And look, whatever you take from it, bro, I'm going to be happy. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying at some point, I don't want my bro. I'm just saying this one. I don't want my bro to miss out on his blessings because he still has something, you know what I'm saying, that stirs him up at times. I know how you feel. Believe me, bro. I've had somebody tell me some very hateful things, but as I matured into a man, I had to let that go. Now, I'm not saying you physically got to go and say, hey, I forgive you. No, I'm not saying that. But at some point, bro, in order for you to continue to get these blessings that God is going to give you, bro, you're going to have to let some things go. But I'm not telling you that because I'm just telling you that, no, bro. I'm telling you that because I love you, right? When you said earlier today, you said, man, I love Coach D and I love Andrew. Okay, so as a man, right, I'm telling my bro I love him and I want him to have to learn. It's a process. It's a process. It was a process for me, bro. It's a process. But hear my tone. It's very gentle and it's very respectful, right? It's times when we say things, people want to get aggressive. Like a real friend don't get aggressive. They're going to be gentle. They're going to say, hey, look, I see what you're saying, see what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, whatever you take from it, just as long as you're growing each day, Damian, that's all that matters to me, bro. That my little bro is growing each and every day. And yeah, a lot of things do stink. Trust me, man. I can go back and talk about my dad. There's a lot of things that he did to me that it still stings. But I was able to take it one step at a time so I can fully forgive you. You understand what I'm saying? What
Yeah.
you are doing, what God has blessed you to do, what God has blessed Andrew to do, there are some things that have caused us to say, whoa, let me take a step back because I remember when, right? And it still hurts. But at the end of the day, in order for you all seed to grow, and you know where I'm getting at when I say for your seed to grow with what future educators talking supposed to be doing, we have to let some things go so that God can use those things to make us stronger. You understand? So you take that situation, you continue doing the podcast, you continue doing Future Educators Talk, you continue doing Damian, right? Because when you think about it, now if somebody else comes on the show that has that same, you know what I'm saying, situation as you, now you know how to give them wisdom and say, hey, you know what? I've been through something like that. But in order for you to get over that bump, you have to say, all right, I'm not going to allow it to take over who I am, but I'm going to make sure that I allow it to help others so they can see how I grew from. That's what a real friend does.